know how everything can change in a matter of days. It was all good just a week ago. We beat up on the Chicago Sky a few days ago. 35-point victory. Caitlyn Clark triple-double. Indiana Fever riding high. Indiana Fever fans riding high. Caitlyn Clark supporters riding high. And then, of course, the dweebs do what the dweebs do. They make up nonsense. They make up lies. And the WNBA validate the lies. The WNBA validates the nonsense. The WNBA validates non-truths.
After playing nice, the Indiana Fever are now threatening to boycott the entire WNBA due to what they say are drama falsehoods, rumors, and plain lying. The issue is that nobody is disclosing the details of these lies, which might include everything, from bombshell secrets to feuds that take place behind closed doors. Is the WNBA as a whole about to be rocked by a controversy, or is this just a power move? The Fever are behaving as if they are aware of something that the other league clubs genuinely don't want to know. This one is going to explode up, so keep a watch out.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This dump, this turd of turds known as the WNBA, this damn league can't get the hell out of their own way. They don't get it. They just don't get it. The diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelbert, she does not understand how fragile this fan base is. And by fragile, I'm referring to their level of loyalty to pretend basketball, which in this case doesn't exist.
All right, prepare yourself for a reality check that will be messier than your last breakup text if you thought the WNBA turmoil was all about sports. This is the Indiana Fever's scorching catastrophe on and off the court, orchestrated by the brilliant, unstoppable, every sports executive dreams of sellout games, outrageously high ticket prices, new fans coming in, and the Fever giving the WNBA the fire, energy, and attention it desperately needs. The golden ticket, the crowd drawer, the hype generator, and the league's cash cow are all Caitlyn Clark.
You would think the number one thing you'd be talking about after that game, after that amazing performance from Caitlyn Clark, the triple-double, the amazing passes, the crazy shots, you'd think we would be talking about basketball. The number one thing you think we'd be investigating is how nobody else in the WNBA has ever done anything like Caitlyn Clark is doing. We should be investigating the fact that Caitlyn Clark's 4 threes in that game were more exciting than, like, if you go to 2022 and check out the top 10 plays of the WNBA season, her 4 threes in that game were more exciting than those 10 plays, literally. Like, what she does in one game is single-handedly more exciting than anything we've ever seen in the WNBA. That's what we should be.
But because Caitlyn Clark's bold attack on Angel Reese allegedly made the fans a little too excited, the league and its loyal fans want to act as though the Fever are the bad ones spoiling the match.
This is what started all of this.
It's a flagrant, and then Chicago will maintain the basketball.
Okay, that was it. That noise you heard right there that sounds a little bit like a dolphin was actually a YouTuber called Flight Reacts. A laugh. All right, a laugh that it's my understanding actually gets played during NBA games too. That's what it's all about, because they tried to say that sounded like a monkey.
Let's take a step back in time and do this like a reality program from the past. Angel A Fever player receives a hard back of the head shove from Reese, the queen of smirks and side glances, which yells, "I'm here to throw elbows and get away with it." The Fever fans are immediately portrayed as villains. The league creates racist conspiracy theories in the stands. And Angel is made into an untouchable martyr after Caitlyn gives him a fair, honest, and dirty foul.
National television. It's been the most polarizing conversation in all of sports over the last 24 hours rather. Angel Reese, many would suggest that she overreacted, but Slick, do you have an issue with Angel Reese's reaction to Caitlyn Clark's flagrant foul?
Yes, and I have an issue with the way she reacted. I have an issue with the way it's being handled by her, by the Chicago Sky, everybody involved.
The irony fans of the Fever are the only ones that fill stadiums, buy jerseys, sell out venues, and effectively fund the WNBA, while the rest of the league watches in dismay as one star and the team that backs her eclipse their own ratings.
just really thankful. They continued to show up for us, and they make a lot of noise. Like, they're into it. They're not just sitting there. Like, they're invested in this basketball. It's great for our league. It's great for every team that gets to come and play here. I think we've had a lot of great battles, and they've helped us win a lot of games on this floor. So, like I said, hopefully we can bring the playoffs back here and give them a taste of it, because they deserve it. It's been since 2016. So, it's only going to get better and better from here on out.
We want Caitlyn to succeed, but not like that, not while the Fever fans exist. The whispers are nearly audible throughout. Translation. The WNBA appears to have decided that destroying the organization, starting with the squad that keeps the lights on, is the best way to handle its increasing popularity. Only if the victimization and contrived drama match the script will we want the league to succeed.
Not a flagrant foul on Caitlyn Clark. Listen, I was at the game. If there was somebody being racist or saying shit, obviously boot him, never let him back. I would be stunned beyond belief if that was the case. This crowd, I've sat on the wood for a million games, been in a million environments. The crowd at the Fever game, little girls, families, ladies, nice crowd. You even though it's 100% false, by acknowledging we don't condone hate and not seeing that this was an internet rumor, complete bullshit, you're lending credence to this. There was none of that. It was a great crowd, a positive crowd. Yeah, Angel Reese deserved to get her ass booed when she attacked Caitlyn on a normal foul. Other than that,
is racism the true issue, or are you just craving drama because of jealousy control and a healthy dose of anger over Caitlyn's rising fame? The people that showed up in big numbers to cheer for their side are the same supporters who are being accused of bigotry. Caitlyn Clark is the most polarizing person in the league because, like it or not, Angel Reese is the league's favorite antagonist, and the Fever fans are always being blamed for any conflict that comes up. Here is the world without Caitlyn and the Fever, though. The WNBA keeps winning on the court and in the hearts of fans while the league pauses because, in the end, no amount of pointless turmoil can stop the real game. Even while the league still tries to fill half-empty gyms with free ticket signs and awkward silence, it is currently booming, and the individuals who ought to be celebrating are attempting to call off the celebration. Perhaps the WNBA will see that progress can sometimes be messy but is always valuable if basketball fills out venues, sells jerseys, and makes the sport inevitable. Let the Fever run wild and let Caitlyn shine.
They wanted to hone their defensive skills. Last season, in the offseason, Stephanie White made it a point to drill that idea home. I mean, Caitlyn Clark talked about upping her defense, and in the offseason, they picked up a lot of key defenders. They picked up Natasha Howard, who is the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year, and last season, the Connecticut Sun came in first in their defensive rating. So what did the Fever do? They took Stephanie White, they took Keith Porter, they brought in Tawana Bonner, and they said, we're doing this right.
All right, let's examine this WNBA soap opera in more detail because it has more twists than a pretzel factory. Examples include Caitlyn Clark, a rookie sensation who is shattering records and expectations faster than anybody could have imagined, and the Indiana Fever, a team that has practically flipped the league's lights back on after years of flickering dimly like a bad phone connection. With fans attending games, arenas packed, ticket prices soaring like rocket fuel strapped underneath, and gear sales through the roof, it's basically a sports marketer's dream come true. Here's the problem though. Instead of saying, hell yeah, let's ride this wave, it is said that the Fever and their supporters are too loud, too arrogant, and somehow too much. The kind of too much that seems to undermine the well-crafted story that the rest of the WNBA is trying to promote. The league's own take on You Can't Sit With Us, complete with basketball jerseys and some extremely questionable decisions regarding who should be on the floor. The league and its supporters want the exact opposite of this.
Today, the WNBA is investigating alleged racial comments that were directed at WNBA player Angel Reese by fans yesterday at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Actually, that game was on Sunday. The Players Union says it supports, on Saturday rather. The Players Union says it supports the investigation and condemns all forms of hate and discrimination.
Then what is the real issue? After that infamous tackle which sent the internet into a frenzy and the WNBA into what seemed to be a PR collapse, everything came to a head. An ordinary in-game argument between Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark escalated into a full-fledged witch hunt against the Fever. Angel Reese is the league's current drama queen and the definition of attitude. The discussion abruptly shifted from who played smarter or harder to racism, irresponsible behavior, and whether the Fever should even be allowed to play. Let's pretend to be detectives for a while. The entire incident starts when Angel Reese makes a cheap shot and pushes a Fever player. The Fever supporters are labeled racists after Caitlyn replies with a classic legal tackle, yet there is no suspension or media coverage denouncing her for bad play. When the league starts to stir up controversy about fan behavior, the media goes into overdrive, as if it were the season finale of a reality TV show, and you start to wonder if someone accidentally turned the sports channel to a talk show during the day.
People just aren't used to the heated intensity of a great rivalry. But in the NBA, we had MJ and the Pistons, we had Bird and Magic. We're kind of used to it. As Caitlyn Clark in Indiana hammered the Chicago Sky, it's like 4.5 minutes left in the third, there was a foul. It should not have been upgraded to a flagrant foul. It was a foul. And I really think if you truly respect women's basketball, let them play. Sort of like guys. Rivalries equal ratings. Sports is better with intensity. Animosity is part of it. This is okay. Who cares if Angel Reese doesn't like Caitlyn Clark? It's not soccer.
But this is when the story gets more intense. The Fever are more than just the new kids on the block. They're the reason arenas are buzzing again. The rest of the league isn't so much. You have to wonder why the focus is suddenly on issues. With Fever fans when they're the ones who are actually attending, it's like blaming the loudest, most fervent group at a party for the party being fun, while other teams and fan bases are just silent spectators, watching their seats remain empty, and their merchandise collect dust. And don't forget about the influence Caitlyn Clark is having on the sport itself. She's changing the narrative, not just playing basketball. It's as if the rest of the league forgot that competition is meant to propel sports forward, not hold it hostage with petty grudges and exaggerated drama. Here's a rookie entering a league where veterans were supposed to hold the spotlight while she grabs the mic, rewrites the script, and makes sure everyone knows she's here to stay. She's selling out arenas, breaking viewership records, and creating an unstoppable buzz, but instead of being celebrated, she and the Fever encounter resistance motivated by jealousy, territorialism, and, to be honest, a little bit of resentment.
Drama. Had Angel or anyone else done the exact same type of a foul to Caitlyn, the storyline is different. I don't have an issue with the foul. I thought it was a hard foul. I was always taught you don't give up an easy basket, and that's what I thought Caitlyn did. My thing with that was stand in it.
Stand on business.
Yeah.
I have no issue with none of it. It's just basketball soft as hell right now on both sides of it. There ain't no damn flagrant foul, man.
Hear your perspective on the flagrant foul. What was the point you were trying to make to her?
It's just a good take foul, you know? It's either wide open 2 points or, you know, we send them to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a good take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
Additionally, there is the media circus, when the attention shifts from the game to who will initiate the next fight whenever the Fever strikes the court. The NBA now appears to be more about who can post the most inflammatory comments while maintaining a perfect Instagram feed than it was about basketball. Reese, who enjoys drama, is given the royal treatment as the league's ITG girl, while Caitlyn Clark and the Fever are positioned as the antagonists. The true supporters who are investing their hard-earned money to buy jerseys, fill seats, and promote the league are caught in the crossfire of the formulaic plotline, which is almost ridiculous. Supporting the Fever all of a sudden suggests you're the problem, whilst cheering for other teams suggests you're simply another fan. The real sting here is the blatant double standard, which seems to be the league's attempt to sabotage its own success. It's similar to being told that you can only silently, courteously, and without winning, cheer for your favorite. The Rivalry and Caitlyn Clark have shown that the WNBA can grow, draw in new fans, and contend with any sport for recognition and attention. However, some people seem determined to preserve the existing quo by holding on to outdated myths and internal politics that are more harmful than helpful, instead of celebrating this victory.
Of this audience, they have no loyalty to the WNBA. Their loyalty lies with Caitlyn Clark, and that loyalty, it is not guaranteed to extend to the rest of this putrid league. No one is loyal to the dump. No one cares about the WNBA.
Look at the big picture. The Fever are giving the league the fresh perspective, energy, and voice it sorely needs. Ticket sales are booming, and merchandise is flying off the shelves. Social media buzz is booming, And the mainstream story? It seems to be stuck on contentious controversy and who caused it, since a story about excitement and development isn't nearly as clickable as one about drama and division. It's also critical to consider how all of this adds to larger conversations about the struggle for legitimacy and sports culture fanaticism. Players like Caitlyn Clark are helping the WNBA gain popularity as it competes for a place in the crowded sports scene. Though Angel Reese and her horde of fans are being protected as if they own the keys to the kingdom despite questionable behavior and on-court antics that wouldn't be accepted in most other leagues, they are being singled out by jealousy and archaic, gatekeeping instead of being praised as trailblazers. The double standard, which sends the negative message that brilliance and hard work might not be enough if you don't fit the ideal narrative, is unavoidable.
Yeah, you can just feel the energy from the crowd, like they're also just itching for it, and that's not why you play, but I feel like that's the part of the game I take a lot of pride in. I want to be able to do a lot of different things for this team, and honestly, when I think I get the ball off of a missed shot, off the rebound, I think it's other teams have a really hard time stopping us in transition, and I can just pitch it up to my teammates to find ways.
Supporters who have consistently shown their support are being vilified for their zeal, and media coverage of the Fever usually overlooks the positive impact the club is making in favor of made-up controversies. A classic approach is to shoot the messenger, or in this case, the messengers. However, we must remember that this is not just about basketball, it is also about identity allegiance and the power dynamics inside the sport. It is about who gets to play for the league and who is forced to the sidelines. Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever are a movement rather than just a squad or a player. Angel Reese and her camp stand for tradition and control, while the Fever and Caitlyn Clark symbolize growth and change. Fans are left wondering if the new wave or the old guard will prevail in the end as the drama unfolds. Because all of this drama and internal strife takes attention away from what should be the primary focus: a league on the verge of greatness and incredible basketball rising stars. The fans and the sport itself are the real losers. No amount of internal politics or meaningless media spin can put out a spark that could start a revolution in women's sports.